When beginning to document the final flight path of the Pentagon aircraft, one of the first witnesses we tried to contact was Thomas Trapasso. Mr. Trapasso was a former Clinton political appointee who was looking for work at the time and was making telephone calls from his deck when he claimed the jet flew about 300 feet over his house. We spoke with Mr. Trapasso on the phone, and he confirmed most of his original account, but this time he claimed the plane flew directly above him at treetop level versus his original 300-foot estimate. He gave us his old address where he was located on 9/11, 1400 South Barton, so we took some shots of the area to see what his view would have been like. He said he would try to come down from Massachusetts and give us an interview, but after repeated attempts he did not return our phone calls. Since we had his original address to work from, we figured it would be best to start at the Army-Navy Country Club nearby. We figured the plane would have passed over at least a portion of it. We spoke with management of the golf course, and sure enough, they had mentioned an employee named Jamal who had a perfect view of the plane. We talked with Jamal, and he said it actually came directly over the driving range. This was not where Mr. Trapasso placed it, and would have made it quite difficult for him to see from his courtyard that is surrounded by very high trees and his two-level building complex. So we began our flight path on the driving range of the Army-Navy Country Club, where we talked with Jamal El-Kornati.
Yeah, I was here, straight up the range. Me and Mr. Spank, he's a member here. He's old guy, he's like 76 something.
Okay, you said you saw a plane coming where?
That way, this way.
From that way, okay.
And then it's too low.
Let me take a look. We're on the driving range, right?
The driver ran those trees, it's too low.
Between the two trees all the way at the very end?
Yes.
Okay, let's zoom.
This way.
Okay, wait, point again. You saw it coming, oh, going that way.
See that tree right there?
That tree?
Yep.
It went right over that tree?
Yeah, I was here. Me and Mr. Spank, we got shocked because we never seen the plane here.
Right.
Like that. I mean, I work here for 12 years.
Right.
I seen a plane like that, and I scared. I mean, I don't know what's wrong.
So was it like, how high over that tree was it?
Like, like half that tree up there.
So okay, it's about half the length above that tree.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you hear? What did it sound like?
I mean, when it gets closer right here, it sounds like.
And was it moving? Was it descending downwards, or was it pretty much going straight when you saw it come from over here?
No, it was going straight.
It was going straight, huh?
Straight.
Okay. So for about how many seconds did you see the plane?
Well, I mean, I saw the plane like.
Yeah, but
from here and here. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, it's like from there and here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good view. It's like clear. There's no trees or anything.
No trees, nothing. I can see it clearly.
Right. All right.
I can see. Clearly.
Okay. So tell me, what did the plane look like to you as far as the color?
The American airline.
Right, but what was the color?
The white stripes, red and.
It was white stripes?
Yeah. No, the plane was white and has stripes,
The plane was white?
Yeah.
Okay, and you did see stripes?
Oh yeah, me and Mr. Spank, we were here.
For sure you saw stripes?
Oh yeah.
What color were they?
The red.
Red stripes?
The red, I think red. American Airlines has red and...
Right, but did you see that for sure, or did you just see that afterwards after you looked
I saw the airplane. I don't know, it's coming right here. I can see it,
So you saw red stripes for sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Mr. Spank, together we talk about it. He said, this is not right. I mean, plane to be, low here in the course.
Yeah. Did you see any markings on the jet?
No.
Did you see the tail of it?
What do you mean tail?
The tail, the very end of the plane?
Oh, yeah.
You
I
did?
was watching until I get right here. Oof, it's gone.
And did the plane look like it was pretty much plain except for the stripes?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Could you see the windows?
Oh yeah, I can see the windows because it's too low.
Did you see people in the windows?
No, I didn't see the people from the window.
Right.
Well, as I was saying, there are reports of more than one plane that flew over. The official story
says that there was a plane following it that looked like this. This is called a C-130.
Yeah.
Did the plane look like that to you?
No.
You said it was white.
Yeah.
So did it look more like this?
Yeah.
Look more like that, but you saw stripes on it.
Stripes, yeah.
Okay, but as far as the color goes, was the color like this?
Yeah, it was color like this.
Color was like this.
Jamal's account gives us a strong starting point for our flight path, but what else did we learn from Jamal? He said he saw a single plane flying fast, low, and directly over the driving range. He said it appeared to be a passenger jet airliner and that the color of it was white. He said he noticed red stripes on the plane. We must note that Jamal was familiar with the reports that it was an American Airlines jet, and at one point he seemed to be conjuring up what he remembered an AA jet to look like when we asked him what he saw. Nevertheless, the first color that came to his mind about the plane was that it was white. He did see it move across the entire driving range. However much Jamal is accurately remembering and what details he may be deducing or inaccurately remembering, we simply can't know for sure. Let's move on to see what other witnesses say and where it takes our flight path. We then found a cluster of witnesses in the neighborhood of Hoffman-Boston Elementary, south of Columbia Pike. Mrs. Hubbard was near 13th and Post Streets when she saw the plane out of the window of her home. She declined to be videotaped but agreed to let us record audio of her account. Here's what she said.
So you're in your den, and you're here on the corner of...
this way.
Right, okay.
It came between...
Post Street, that's corner of 13th.
It came between...
13th and Poe.
These two houses.
Okay.
Flew right over these two houses. That's my sister's house there. And my picture shifted on my wall in my den when it came through. And when I looked out that window right there, I saw the tip of it going that way at an angle through there.
The tip of it or the end of it?
The end of it.
Oh, the end of it, right.
And
okay.
the front end he pulled up.
So is that going at an angle heading towards Columbia? Because it wasn't going along Columbia Pike. It came from back there.
It went this way.
Okay, okay.
Because when it hit the Pentagon, the puff of smoke came up over top of that house.
So it had to have
hit 95.
Come from back the 395 area rather than straight up Columbia Pike.
It came this way. It came across here.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it went between the house with the gray roof, the one where the umbrella is, and the big house. It went through there. And then it pulled up so that it would miss those trees. And then the next thing I saw was the puff of smoke and heard the sound.
Wow. So, okay, when you saw it, what did it look like to you?
I thought that a plane was just out of control. And I just gasped. I couldn't do anything. And then when I looked, I thought it had hit the highway. But it didn't. It hit the Pentagon.
Right.
The kids were over here on the school lot. They were all down on the ground. The teacher had put them on the ground. The workmen were still working on the school at the time. And some of them ran towards the children, and man came down here to see if I was all right, because I was just standing here almost panic-stricken. And then I heard the boom, and it
When you
smoke.
When you saw the tail of the plane, what did it? Can you describe that for me? What color did it look?
I just knew it was down too low. It was white with maroon writing on it.
Oh, like. The plane looked white.
Yes.
And it had maroon writing.
It looked like it, and it was going. I guess I was in a state of shock for seeing a plane flying that low.
Sure.
And I can just vaguely remember that. But that's the way it looked to me.
So as far as any coloring and markings, you just noticed white?
I just saw a blur of numbers on the back of it.
Numbers?
At the side, the number of the plane.
Oh.
And it was just a blur. I could see all of that.
Wow.
It was just that low. And then he just ascended between the two houses. And then the next thing I heard was the boom.
Like Jamal, Mrs. Hubbard saw a low-flying passenger jet airliner pass over her neighborhood. She noticed maroon numbers on the tail, and she also describes the plane as white. Mrs. Hubbard has therefore corroborated many of the details relayed by Jamal. Now let's move up the street to Veronica, another resident of the same neighborhood who also says she saw the plane.
Okay, well, we were at my cousin's house over here, and the plane just basically flew directly down. She's got a window in the back, which is her bathroom, and the plane went down that way, and it just went really so fast. You just sort of saw the light go by, and we were like, was that? And it just hit, and then we heard the explosion, and we ran out, and it was all flames.
Do you have any description of the aircraft at all?
It was white. Yeah.
Did you see any other colors?
No.
Size,
It just
engines?
went so fast.
Did it look like a passenger airplane?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, because we see the planes pass here all the time. So it went down pretty fast.
Do you see how many engines it had?
No. It was like a white thing that just went real quickly.
And there was no other color? You didn't see any other color
No.
with it?
Did you hear an explosion? when
Oh
it hit?
yeah. Yeah, you could see it. It smelled too.
Veronica corroborates the other accounts of a single unusually low flying jet airliner. But now we have a third person that specifically describes the plane as white. She didn't notice any stripes or markings like Mrs. Hubbard and Jamal, but she does say that she barely saw the plane and simply couldn't tell. She told us about her cousin Cindy up the street who got a better look at the plane than she did, so we decided to see what Cindy had to say. Cindy Reyes was kind enough to invite us in to film her in the exact location where she saw the plane, in her bathroom. Here is how she describes what she saw.
Okay, we're talking with Cindy, what's your last name,
Reyes.
Cindy? Cindy Reyes, here in her home where she saw the plane. And she's going to describe to us her account. So you were right here in the bathroom, is that right, Cindy?
Yes, correct.
Okay, why don't you kind of just give me a play-by-play of what you saw and how it happened.
Okay, well, I was getting ready to go to work, and I was just about to brush my teeth, and as I was brushing my teeth, I heard this big, like, it kind of sounded like bullets. It was sounding like bullets, but I couldn't really describe what it really was. So I was like, what is that? I looked outside, and as I noticed that the whole house was actually moving, I went down like this, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? So I went down, and as I looked up, I could see that there was a plane, and the plane was actually, if you want to get closer.
Yeah, why don't we see where you saw it fly?
The plane was actually coming this way, and it was as low as that tree out there. So you can see it go down, but it was going really fast. So it was like, it was going this way, and then as I looked, the plane was gone. And then as I saw, I ran outside, and I was running. I didn't have my shoes on or anything, because that's how scared I was. And then as I saw the plane go down, the actual earth or the ground was shaking.
Well, wait a minute, you were outside when you saw the plane go down?
No.
Okay.
While the plane was going down, I ran outside.
Okay.
I saw the plane going down these trees, and then I ran outside. And
so you didn't see anything when you went outside?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
All I heard was the explosion, like boom, and then the whole ground, earth shook. I was like, well, I assumed that the plane was going down. And that was it.
Okay, so for point of reference for people, that's the Sheraton Hotel out there. And Cindy, let's zoom in on that. There we go. There's
See
the
that
Sheraton.
tree right there? So that's how close this tree was. It was underneath this whole thing right here. It was underneath that house, and it was going down, and I could see the propellers. I could see the windows.
It was underneath what house?
It was underneath this little house right here. It was like, just a little feet up. I could see the plane was already going down.
Oh, so you're saying it was lower than that yellow tree?
It was like in between, like this house and just like, well, it was right here. I could see the plane like as big as that going down.
So it was actually about as close as that yellow tree you're saying?
Yeah, up. That's how, it doesn't go, it does not go high as that is. It's just right in between. You see that tree? It's like not as high. It's not higher than that. It's low. Right
Okay,
there.
now from what direction did it come? Did it come from straight to the left or from behind us?
It came from behind us like this. It was going this way like that. So I never saw the plane at first. All I heard was it coming. I was
So did you see just the side of it, or was it on an angle?
It was on an angle.
Now you got a really good look at the plane.
Yeah.
What did it look like? What color did it look for you?
White. It was white.
White. Did it look more gray or silver?
No, it looked white to me.
It looked
It's
white.
a white plane.
Now, okay, did it look like it was silver with sun shining on it?
I don't remember that. I just remember it being white.
Just like the paint, the actual paint was white.
The actual paint was white.
Did you see any markings or colors?
I remember on the tail there was numbers.
Numbers.
But little, you see the wing, the tail, and you see it, and the numbers. There were probably like 3 numbers on the top of it. They were black, but they weren't big. They were just like medium size.
3 numbers on the, and this is the tail, the fin that sticks up on the very back?
The tail.
There, and what color were the numbers?
Black.
Black. And there's about 3 of them. They were numbers or letters?
They were numbers.
They didn't really big and take up
No, they weren't really big, just normal size like this.
And did you see any stripes on it?
Probably one.
You saw a stripe on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a blue one, but it wasn't so noticeable that you would remember the color. But it was, basically the plane was plain, white, one stripe, and then the little letters. And then I saw the windows, all the windows. The windows looked black to me. Well, that's what they look like, black, all of them.
Oh, really? Okay. Could you see any people in the windows?
No, I didn't. I could have seen some, but I didn't see people. I just saw when I looked over here, I saw the windows really, really big. And then I saw where the engine is, like it was, because I could see it going this way. So I saw the engine.
Okay, you saw the actual engine. All right. Now, there are a couple different accounts of different planes in the area, so I'm going to stop the camera and pull out these pictures of these different planes to see you know, which one looked more like the one that you saw, okay?
Okay.
All right, hang on a second. Okay, Cindy. So there were some official counts of a plane like this. This is a C-130.
Okay.
A big military plane that was chasing it. Did you see that?
No.
Did the plane you saw, did it look like that?
No.
See how it has propellers that actually spin in the front and they have 4 engines?
Yeah, no.
You didn't see that because you mentioned there were propellers before, but you're saying when you say that did the engines look more like this?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I saw. But for some reason it looked bigger. You know what I saw? It looked bigger.
Well, it's because it's darn close to you.
Yeah, but this is what I saw. I didn't see...
Okay, now here's another one. This is an American Airlines jet right here with the stripes on it. Would you say the plane looked more like this with the red stripe, this picture with the red stripe, or more like this color with the blue stripe that you saw?
This one with the blue stripe. I didn't see any... This one, because this one kind of looks like mirror-ish, kind of, you know?
Right, like a chrome or silver.
I didn't see this one.
You did not see that one. Okay, you mentioned there were numbers on the tail. Did the numbers on the tail, see how there's two big AA there?
Yeah, there's like numbers right here.
Oh, it was right in the middle of the tail like that?
Right here. Like, right, can you see? Can you see this?
Yeah.
This, I can't, this, right, there was like little numbers right here.
And how big were they?
Medium size, like right here. They were like really small, like right in, they weren't like big.
They just took up the top of it? The top portion of it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't two big AAs with wings like that?
No.
Okay.
So it was plain, it was like plain, it wasn't sparkly or anything like that.
And that's all you saw was the one plane?
Just the one. That's all.
Okay. Right.
Because that's that plane, it was plain, you know?
You know for sure that's what you saw, huh? And it was pretty close for you.
Yeah, that's what there was no, it was just like that, just plain. Plain.
With one blue stripe.
Yeah, with one blue stripe.
Okay.
And then, you know, this was big to me.
Did you see any red markings at all on it? I mean, for real, think hard.
No, I don't remember any red.
Huh. Okay.
But it was plain. It was plain. It didn't have all this stuff on it. It was simple plain. You know?
Okay.
Plain.
All
I would
right.
have remembered. You know?
Right.
I would have remembered.
Cindy's detailed account corroborates all the eyewitnesses we've talked to thus far. She also saw a single passenger jet airliner with turbine engines fly unusually low over the area. Like Jamal, she also saw a stripe, but she describes it as blue and Jamal describes it as red. Naturally, it's possible this could mean there were both blue and red stripes as expected on an American Airlines jet. Cindy saw some sort of numbers or markings on the tail fin like Mrs. Hubbard, but she describes them as black and Mrs. Hubbard describes them as maroon. Cindy's description of the markings does not coincide with the large AA logo, but she does concede that the plane was moving quite fast and not in her field of vision very long. The most notable and corroborated aspect of Cindy's account is that she too specifically describes the plane as white. So now this detail has been corroborated 4 times.
What color did the plane look to you?
It's more like a champagne type, almost like the movement. right there.
Okay, so you're saying to you it looked quite similar to that booth right there.
Correct.
So kind of like an off-white.
Off-white.
It was like an off-white. And
You mentioned that the plane was like a champagne color. Would you say that it was more like a gray or a white like this?
Actually, something like this.
Like this right here?
Yes.
Okay, so this is pretty accurate as far as the color. Was it more like this, or was it more towards gray or silver?
It's hard to. I want to go with this more.
Well, there's this right. There's this right here. This plane right here was also seen in the area. This is a C-130. Gray C-130. There are official reports that this plane was flying over the area. They called it to follow the 757 thing. So did you see anything like this right here, the C-130?
I personally didn't see that one.
Okay, you didn't see anything like that. All right. So it just had single engines on the wings.
Correct.
No propellers. They were turbine engines. Okay, and it wasn't this color at all.
Correct. It wasn't that color.
It wasn't gray. It was more champagne. Was it silver or shiny?
Now it was more of again, it's more of the champagne.
Champagne white, like an off-white.
Like an off-white.
Okay, Andrea, we're back talking to Omar Campos and his friend Adil Raji is translating for him.
¿Pero sabe qué colores? Lo alcancé a ver que era como blanco por bajo y como así alrededor como celeste.
What color was it?
It's like white in the top, it's like blue color downstairs.
White on the top and blue on the color.
It's not like
blue,
blue like white blue. Como los aeroplanes de aquí, de América.
American
algo como así. Algo así como los de la United, you know. He said like a United States aeroplane.
One eyewitness said it appeared that the pilot went to the side of the building, not directly in. One eyewitness said it appeared that the pilot went to the side of the building, not directly in. And the one witness seemed to think that the pilot tried to avert going directly in. And the one witness seemed to think that the pilot tried to avert going directly in. But it's hard for us to tell because we really can't see any large pieces of this aircraft.
Saw it lift up.
Side of the bridge.
To the
saw it lift.
Robert, you said that the plane looked silver, but then you said it looked like the color of this car right here. So it wasn't a super shiny silver. Now, that's an American Airlines jet. There's a color of this silver, and there's that silver. This is with the sun on it, and this is with the sun behind it. And then we have a dull gray military jet here. Another one here. This is the C-130. Did you see one like this?
No, it had a turbine engine just like this.
It had a turbine engine.
I cannot say it was exactly like this. To me, it seemed not as white as this, but it did not seem this silver. I mean, it seemed like a little bit more gray than silver. It's somewhere in between these two.
Five-sided building. We're seeing the front of the Pentagon right along the parkway. The right-hand side where the helicopter pad is right where a light white jet was circling around. Secret Service also reported a jet circling around the White House. Secret Service also reported a jet circling around the White House.
The White House, of course, has leapt to the forefront of people's concern this morning, and there is a plane circling the White House at the moment, and they're clearing the grounds there. That's a report which may be misleading in that it may presume an attack, whereas we just discovered a moment ago that what we had with an additional airplane in New York airspace was a security operation.
About 10 minutes ago, there was a white jet circling overhead. Now, you generally don't see planes in the area over the White House. That is restricted airspace. No reason to believe this jet was there for any nefarious purposes, but the Secret Service was very concerned, pointing up at the jet in the sky. It is out of sight now, best we can tell.
On now to one of the eeriest moments amid the carnage of 9/11. A mysterious plane was seen flying right over the president's residence. Even some CNN staffers saw it. To this day, it has never been officially explained. Tonight, Chief National Correspondent John King has new details about this great 9/11 mystery.
Today, 6 years after 9/11, the mystery endures about just what happened in the skies over the White House that terrible day. A plane flew right over it. But why? And what was it? For conspiracy theorists, the image is a gold mine. Go back to that morning. Suddenly, an orderly evacuation of the White House turned hectic. In New York, the Twin Towers had collapsed. There was word of an explosion at the Pentagon. And then Secret Service warnings of another plane still on course for Washington. It appeared overhead just before 10 a.m., a 4-engine jet banking slowly in the nation's most off-limits airspace, on the White House grounds and the rooftop, a nervous scramble.
About 10 minutes ago, there was a white jet circling overhead. Now, you generally don't see planes in the area over the White House. That is restricted airspace. No reason to believe that this jet was there for any nefarious purposes, but the Secret Service was very concerned, pointing up at the jet in the sky.
And still today, no one will offer an official explanation of what we saw. Two government sources familiar with the incident tell CNN it was a military aircraft and say the details are classified. This comparison of the CNN video and an official Air Force photo suggests the mystery plane is among the military's most sensitive aircraft, an Air Force E-4B. Note the flag on the tail, the stripe around the fuselage, and the telltale bubble just behind the 747 cockpit area.
There are many commercial versions of the 747, obviously, that look similar, but I don't know any of them that have the communications pod like the E-4, the Air Force E-4 does behind the cockpit.
The E-4B is a state-of-the-art flying command post, built and equipped for one reason, to keep the government running no matter what, even in the event of a nuclear war. The reason it was nicknamed the Doomsday Plane during the Cold War.
They exercise this type of thing all of the time, and they simply don't talk about it. So it doesn't surprise me that they are very closed-mouthed about it.
Ask the Pentagon, and it insists this is not a military aircraft, and there is no mention of it in the official report of the 9/11 Commission. Commission co-chairman Lee Hamilton says he has a vague recollection of someone mentioning a mystery plane, but staffers who looked into it never raised it as a relevant issue.
When you're conducting a major investigation, you get thousands of things that come at you. You can't possibly sort through them all. This never rose to the level of a discussion within the commission.
To some, the lack of any official explanation feeds an ominous conspiracy. This is from an online discussion about the plane on the website 911blogger.com. I have always thought these planes were exactly that, mission control for the 9/11 attack on our country. 9/11 Commission co-chairman Hamilton calls such talk ludicrous.
We, of course, heard the conspiracy theories about the president ordered the attack and the Defense Department was involved. We saw absolutely no evidence of that.
But 6 years later, the Pentagon, the Secret Service, and the FAA all say they, at least for public consumption, have no explanation of the giant plane over the president's house, just as the smoke began to rise across the river at the Pentagon. John King, CNN. Washington.
Interesting.
About 10 minutes ago, there was a white jet circling overhead.
It appeared overhead just before 10 a.m.
Out of sight now, best we can tell.
No, the plane was white and has a strip, you know?
The plane was white?
Yeah.
Yeah, what color did it look?
I just knew it was down to low. It was white with maroon writing on it.
Oh, the plane looked white?
Yes.
Do you have any description of the aircraft at all?
It was white.
What color did it look for you?
White. It was white.
White. What color did the plane look to you?
It's more like a champagne type. Right.
So kind of like an off-white.